Welcome to Shays Spiritual Insights. Glad everyone's here. We have a very small, intimate group, but that is wonderful. And we'll get started here. I don't have a lot on the intro section this time, other than to say, just when we thought things couldn't get more accelerated, they are. They just, with all the energies coming in and the spiritual energies, there's so many things that are happening with people. I'm hearing about it when they come through my line. For those who don't know or maybe watching this for the first time, I'm a cashier, and one of the benefits of doing that is, it's just a job that I get to do and talk to people. And as they come through the line, you can just see all the things that are happening. It's just so much. For those who are awake, they're just on a transformational journey. Those who aren't awake find themselves being bumped around the machine, a little bit. But all of it is there to help people rise up and move up to their higher potential, their higher path, whatever that might be for them. So it's just exciting times that we're in. And I know that the other thing that's happening happened with Deborah, and then interestingly, it happened with me when I caught this. I have a throat cold thing from work. It's not really even a cold. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm on the downhill side of it, which is good. But I saw this old, heavy, I see past life baggage and emotional baggage, the denser stuff. I almost see it like coal as it comes up and being released. And Deborah had it, and got caught in her grounding chakra beneath her feet. And she was really having some issues physically, and we got it cleared, and then that went away. And then interestingly, whenever I caught this thing, I looked down, and to my surprise, I was having the same thing, all this stuff coming up, whole big, huge amounts of it, and it got stuck in my grounding chakra too, and we got it cleared. And once I saw it, it's like, what that tells me is that our frequency is raising up. For those, if we're ready, lots of things are being released, which is the very thing we want, but sometimes it can be a little bumpy ride. So that's what I'd like to share. And Paula's here too, and Jessica. Wow. Well, so without further ado, we can begin. Just so everyone knows, Marci is here with us, but she's on a train, and I guess there's a lot of background noise, and we don't even know what kind of signal she's going to have, so she's just going to listen during this. If anyone has any things that comes through for her, please let her know. She would love to hear about it. So, with that, I'm going to start with Jessica today. If you're ready, Jessica, what do you have for us?
Hi. Oh,
Hello.
uh, I don't really know. I've been having a lot of physical stuff going on,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if it's just from sitting. I, all of a sudden my knee started to hurt and my lower back was hurting, and
Mm-hmm.
then everything was hurting.
Yeah, part of that is
And-
being sedentary for certain. Yes, but there's other things too.
Okay, so part of it's energetic.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been, thing is, we talked about before, things are going to continue to move on, and they are, and you have things coming up. Um, and the energies that they're associated with, the events that cause those, those that, um, what do you want to call it, past life baggage, whatever it is, those things, as they're being released, those energies are affecting physical areas for which they had at the time that they occurred. you know. So if you were in pain at the time, or if it was associated with physical pain or an uncomfortable situation, sometimes emotional things from a past life show up as physical things. It's very common. But fear not, it's just being released. And what your guides say to do is, I don't know. It seems like I don't know what your diet is, but if you can, and others here in the group here can talk to you about this. This is not my specialty, but some sort of a cleanse or cleansing diet to help clear out some things in the bodies. It'll also help, and if you can get some just I don't know what kind of exercise you get outside, and it's just simple walking, but some of that, a little bit of that I'm getting that you should have a cleanse, and this will help speed up this clearing things out because it's also associated with your body. The
Okay.
Yeah, I keep getting the word DNA um, as it's being things are being released, old patterns being released, and it has some effect on the DNA. And maybe if someone else is getting something, maybe they can jump in and talk a little bit more about it. Um, but that's what I'm getting.
Okay. All right. So the other thing was that I finally made it 3 months at my job.
Wow.
And so I'm out of my probationary period. Um, but I'm wondering, I've been thinking about like asking if I can work part-time at home so I'm not sitting so much because I have like a desk I can stand at, or I could walk around more. I don't know, does that
I
do you,
think it would be okay, but not quite yet. I think
okay.
they might say yes, but you might be a little premature. So I'd feel it out. I think, maybe 1, maybe 2 days a week they'd be open to that, especially if it works out well. If performance remains the same, if not increasing, that would be something that they'd be good for. They also like having you around, um, but I am getting I'm sensing that it's just a little bit premature right yet.
Well, I
But
wouldn't want to go I mean, full time at home. Just I was thinking maybe 2 days or like a couple afternoons or something.
yeah, and I'm getting that sort of thing. And I again go back to work, just kind of sense how without saying anything, kind of put out the question while you're there and see how it feels energetically coming back. Put out the sonar sort of thing and see how it bounces back. I think you can do that pretty well. Um, I think that it won't be much longer, maybe 2, 3 more weeks, and then they'd be more open to it. Especially if you say a couple of half afternoons, a couple afternoons, 1 or 2 days a week. They would, that way they can see how it works out, and if it's fine, um, that'll be something. They seems like I think they'd be open to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they giving you any other information about that job?
No, not yet. And I knew it was going to be a while. And to me, it looks like
Okay.
it's being pushed out a little bit. And I think that's because there's things that need to happen while you're in this position. With you, it could be there could be some very academic things. Academic, I mean, just job skills and things that you're learning being in that environment that get you tuned for whatever's coming. But I think some things have to happen with you it's really necessary for this cleanse. That's why I think it has to do with this cleansing and this stuff being released, so that you're clear of that before it's going to be ready for you to move into this new one, for it to
Okay.
become available. So I don't know how soon. Sometimes this happens, but I think it's definitely tied to the processes that you're in.
Okay.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Hmm.
Jessica, this is Pat, and I'm also getting that I don't think that you maybe realize how much you are bringing into that office and those people.
That's
Just a
true.
beautiful light. And your giggle or your little laugh that you present us with, it's phenomenal what's in there. It's just a light energy. There's love in there. So there's besides all the things Jeff told you about yourself, you are bringing the light to them. And thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yes, and that is absolutely true too. So, and that was true. We talked about that before, and that's certainly true. And as Pat has alluded to, that it's also a factor there keeping you there, you know, for a little
Yeah.
while longer. Not only your own stuff, but the benefits that others have by your presence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Good
I
to
know
have
you're
this.
waiting for something else, but I know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's go over to Paula. Paula, how are you? Got to see you earlier today.
Oops, my fingers are faster than my phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but your speaker, your microphone's working just wonderfully.
I'm trying to be really quiet. Is it too loud?
No, it's wonderful.
Okay, good, thank you. So I really don't have much other than for Jessica, um, having just gone through that with a year of shoulder terrible pain, and a lot of it was energetic. And what I found was the better clearing I did and finding where it was connected to, doing the inner work, it clears much quicker. And it does clear and it does go away and it does get better. So, in fact, the other day with Deborah, I said, "Oh my gosh, Deborah, I'm so thrilled. Both of my shoulders feel like they're real again."
Oh, awesome. Well,
So,
thank you.
so it really does make a difference when we do our inner work and clear the stuff that brought it to us to begin with.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I don't have anything else other than to be here and listen and support.
Well, you're looking great, Paula. So
Uh,
glad you're here.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. And again, I'm going to put it out there. I do get that it maybe just gets for you to find yourself because this is not my forte. But some sort of a body cleanse is really important for this to clear out the energies of your body to have it tuned so that to support the other energetic processes of your body and your spiritual and your process you're in. So I'm hoping if
Right. I
you can
do have a
find.
cleanse here that
Okay.
I've been holding on to for a little bit.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Because they're your guys are
Thanks.
really after we moved on, so they came through again and said, make sure she really knows that. I said, okay, we'll make sure she knows that.
Thank you.
So, all right. Um,
Awesome.
yeah. Lisa, I always love to hear what you have to say. What's happening with you?
There we go. I had to unmute myself.
Oh, okay.
Um, Man, I was so tired when I got back from Montana. I was like falling asleep at like 8 o'clock. Um, it was like maybe just a few days ago, I actually had my energy back and felt like I could kind of get some stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a very intense little trip.
Yeah. I think for all of us. Yes.
And then today I was at the government center, and that was really interesting. The energy there felt really strange, and I was dizzy for a while there. I thought I was having blood sugar stuff, and then I ate something, but it wasn't. It still felt very weird. And the people and everything, like the whole day was like kind of the energy like sluggish. Like people
Uh-huh.
were kind of coming through, but it looked like everyone was just exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I kind of reinforced kind of some stuff around my aura, but it was weird. It was kind of like I I stepped out of my environment, went to Montana for a little trip, and then when I came back in, it felt very weird. Like like I'm almost foreign a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like I
actually it does. Yeah.
shifted so much that I don't know, I kind of had to reintegrate into my environment again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but in a little bit different way and expanded a
yeah,
little bit. Yeah. So,
yeah, and
and
I'm
go
more
ahead.
sensitive again to things like that opened up more sensitivity again. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Um, and what we talked about when it first came on, first opening was that I'm really seeing because of, we said just when we thought it couldn't go any more accelerated, it is. And I'm seeing it, I said, talked about it anecdotally with, being a cashier in the line, I could see people coming through and I'm watching as these energies come in. For those who are on the committed spiritual path, it's still, a little bumpy, but, they're flowing with it and they're moving up um, and old grounding points are being released and new ones being created, new grounding, and they're moving and integrating. But what I'm seeing with a lot of the same thing is happening to our soul group and to the people in mass, but they're just getting they're getting, they're being moved up, whether they're ready or not, to some degree. And grounding points are being disconnected, and other things happening, and it's really, and I'm seeing it affecting people. It's what we need to have happen. It's what the world needs. But my goodness, for those who aren't ready, it's. I'm wondering if that was part of your experience being out there as well. What's happening to them? It was what.
Right, yeah, it was very noticeable.
Yeah,
Um, just their energies, and it wasn't a few people. It seemed like everybody was
yeah,
kind of in the same
yeah.
state. So I was like, "Oh, this is really bizarre today."
Yeah, yeah, and I'm seeing the same thing. So I can just echo what you're saying. I'm seeing the same thing out there. A
Mhm.
little of a more of a microcosm because you were in a bigger group, but certainly that's indeed a phenomenon. And as we grow, that changes the relationship too. Because as we get, especially when we get away for a little while, that unplugs us, and when we come back in, we're changed. We've expanded and grown. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
So
Wow.
I guess my only question I have is just, I guess if there's anything I need to know, is there, after that huge session with Deborah, that was pretty intense, and so I know I'm still processing it, but um, yeah, I'm just curious because as you were saying that you and Deborah both had this stuff that was kind of stuck, do I have any of that, or is stuff still flowing pretty well?
If things are flowing pretty well, you do have some pieces coming up. Just be aware of it. And they can get like lodged in the almost like water, something blocking water in a pipe kind of a thing on the, especially the grounding chakra, and that's the one I've noticed the most. Yeah, you have one coming up, and it could cause you won't like, why, what's going on there? Take a look down there. I didn't even notice it with myself. I had to actually look down, and there it was. Don't know why I didn't notice it, but I didn't. But to answer your question, you yeah, there's stuff they want you to know, and everything that we talked about while you were here. Um, but you're still processing. They want to just let you continue doing that. It's going to come in, but you're flowing. You're flowing as you should, and you're going to be. Boy, that's all they want to know. I'm going to stop there. So, all right,
All right, thank you, Jeff.
all right. You're welcome. Thank you. All righty, I'm going to move on next to Franny. You just jumped in, but there's a small group today. Pardon my voice. I caught a throat thing or whatever. It's not really a cold, but it's why my voice is odd. And what do you have to share? No voice, no audio.
Hi.
Hi.
Um, can I have a minute or has everybody else already shared?
No, well, not everybody. Pat always likes to be last, so I'm going to go do
I'd
Pat last.
I'd love to trade with her just because I left the office to go home and join the spiritual insights, and I got there and I don't have any cell service there for some reason, so I just got back here, so I kind of need to settle in and figure out what I'd even ask or talk about.
All right, that's fine. We'll go to Pat and come back to you in a couple of minutes.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah, let's see.
Pat, please share with everybody what you feel like you can share with the group here, because we were talking a little bit before we were recording.
Oh, you mean about Chris?
Yeah, sure. If,
Okay,
what you
well,
feel like sharing, that'd be
this is
wonderful.
pretty exciting news. He has been asked to, he'll be doing it a lot now for the Wellbriety Group, which is a Native American offshoot of AA. I shouldn't even say offshoot, it's its own. And it really fits him.
Mhm.
And the last time he did it, um, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, because he had been asked to do it every other time. He did a meditation and it went very well. And today was his second time leading the group and doing a meditation. And he's just really excited about it because everybody enjoyed it. And I think he said 4 people had experiences during the meditation, and he's just, it sounds like he's really going into it and going forward with it. And now the other guy that was doing it, I guess he's stepping, I don't know if he's not going to be coming or what the deal is, but anyway, they've asked Chris if he can participate more as the facilitator. So he's pretty excited. And he and John went and looked at a vehicle for him today. And when they got back to Kalispell, Chris went to the motor vehicle and he just got all his stuff taken care of. He got the license, the plates that temporaries he has to put on. He's got insurance that he got. So they're right now probably picking the vehicle up. And I hope this goes really well, well for him. And so that's the Chris news for those of you that know and don't know him. He's in recovery. I woke up on with that same kind of sluggishness that we were talking about this morning. And I haven't been like that. I've been fairly energetic actually lately. So it was kind of, it was just, you could feel the downward spiral of it. And I don't mean real negative, just heavy. Heavy's a good word.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as I went on with my day, I got some stuff done in the garden and came back in and had a wonderful Reiki session for my client. And actually, quite a lot of shamanic work came out. Just I can't hold it in. It just pours out of me. And then afterwards, when I had her, of course, go on the crystal mat, and she was still sleeping an hour later. So I went down and invited her to have a little snack with me, and it was really good. It was a really, really great session, and we didn't talk about the session, but a lot happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess on a personal level, I just would like to know if the guides have anything to say to me, mine or yours, and if well, whatever. They'll tell you what I need to know, I guess.
Yeah, right now I'm getting some general things, but nothing that they're going to communicate directly right now. It
Okay.
might be something that I send to you a little bit later.
Okay.
I think they're mulling over. I don't know what they're doing. They're just conferencing between themselves, and and um, yeah, and there's some things, but I think they don't want to quite share it yet. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So when it does come through, we can either talk or I can send you an email. We can and go from there.
Sure, whatever feels right. And I feel like from what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing and observing in other spiritual people and leaders and so forth is that we are going exponentially fast.
Right?
And yeah, and so much inside of ourselves, the is changing the all. I can see why that came through for Jessica. It's probably not a bad idea for all of us to do some sort of a little cleanse, if nothing else, even a 24-hour one or whatever, just to make room for all this new phenomenal changes that are coming through in each of us on all levels of our being, energetically. I mean, it will definitely help, can't help but help. So, um, yeah, I guess we're always gaining insights from each other on this talk. It's not always just me, mine, and personal. Um, but rather, how can I share what will also help the whole group?
Oh, absolutely. I think what everyone shares is so powerful. for the
Yeah.
group and for the person it's directed at.
Yes.
And I want to echo that thing on a cleanse. I mean, it's obviously not my, that's not my calling. That's not, um, I mean, I know a little bit about it, you know, the herbs and some of the homeopathic things, but I know that it is so important that the physical body have a cleanse every now and then. I don't normally get that for someone, but I've certainly got it today, and that's wonderful. But it does clear things out and allows the energies of the bodies uh, to better interact with the energetic bodies and for us to grow. It's you know, it's all kind of a linked system, and it really is important. If we're called to do it, it's important to do it. So yeah, I agree with you, Pat.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for being here, even though I know you don't feel that great.
Well, that's all right. You know, these things. I'm actually feel pretty blessed because it's been over 7 months since everyone else around me, they're, you know, they're getting things happening, and just keep, you know, light and the practices, and occasionally these things happen, and I usually don't think it's because of coincidence. When I saw, you know, I was talking about all that, and when I see really really old stuff, baggage from eons ago, however long ago it was, the really stuff from when we were less enlightened, let's just put it that way, lower, much more lower awareness, that shows up as real dense stuff. That's how I see it symbolically. And then when it comes up, when I watch it come up, that is a sign of accelerated times that you were talking, everyone's been talking about. And that's so sometimes sickness coincides with that. The body, for whatever reason, the situation is such that this happens so that things can be facilitated. So, you know, like anything in life, we just flow with it. So. But I'm happy about the accelerated and the stuff being released. I was just a bit surprised, that's all. It's like, ooh, yeah. Not only is it happening with Deborah, lo and behold, I look down and it's happening to me. So, so anyway, um, okay. Well, thank you, Pat. I'm going to jump over to Franny if Franny is ready. You're still
Okay.
there. You go.
Um, well, I'm feeling the best that I have in like 2 months. So I'm really grateful for that. Like I had all this respiratory stuff, then I had a lot of brain fog, and the doctors tried to balance my thyroid and my hormones. And in the meantime, I was just sort of dragging myself around. And,
Hmm.
I'm feeling really good and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And so I don't know if that's me processing old stuff and letting it go, but let it go. Go, glad to be done with it. And the other thing too that came up is I'm cleaning out a spare room for my niece when she comes, and that's where my brother stayed before his passing. And so there's all kinds of stuff in there related to him. There's like lotions that the medical people used, and this and that, and letters and stuff, and pictures. And so I've been recycling through my grief. And, I've got some pictures of him in one corner, and I think it's going to be good for Rayanne to be in there. I think she's going to feel, just kind of. She's going to feel like he had a place there and that she does too, or at least that's my hope. So, and she's coming a week from Sunday. So
Wow,
not this
nice.
Sunday, but the following one. So yeah,
Praise
fingers crossed, right? That all goes well. Um, I have a couple of things. One is that I have a client that, Jeff, you and I have talked about before, where there is I'll just say, an overbearing, controlling mom, and, lots of emotional abuse. And the
God.
girl is no longer living with her. She's living with her grandmother.
Hmm.
And I really, I know that I need to call CPS and just say some of the things that I'm hearing. But I just haven't been able to do it, and I don't know why. Like a lot of times I just have to make the call like the very next day, like within 24 hours, like we're mandated to report. And I think part of it is that because she's not in the home, I'm like 99.9% certain they're not going to do anything, but it's still of value to make an informational call or a call where they document that somebody called and expressed concern. And there are other kids that are still at home, but the concerns aren't as great related to them. I just don't see them taking any action at all. So I think that's why I've been delaying, but I wanted to ask, is there something else? Like, can you help me connect with my high self so that I can get a better read on um, why I'm delaying or why I just haven't done it? Or maybe, I don't know, whatever you find will be helpful.
Well, yeah, what came through as you were talking was it's like it's one of those things where we have an I'm going to explain a little bit. Sometimes I've noticed I have an intention to do something, or we have an intention to do something, and for whatever reason, it's not that we don't want to, but this, that, and the other thing happen, and we just don't get around to it. And what that is a timing thing, and what I'm seeing is that it's kind of I'm seeing it like a structural, like a puzzle thing almost, but it's where um, the universe is. It's not quite the intersectional point yet for that phone call to happen. You know, for whatever reason, it's not only what we have to say. It's like normally you would just, if it was something you were aware of it, you'd immediately make a call and inform CPS and tell them whatever they need to know pertaining to that situation. This one, because of the situation so much, it's like I think, and it's going to be relatively soon, within like a week and a half, you'll make a call. But it seems like waiting that week energetically it's a better timing unit for the universe for whatever needs to happen, for the information to flow through, maybe for them to receive it, maybe it'll coincide with other things that you don't know about. I don't know, but that's it. That's not. It's you, but it's you responding to the mechanisms of the universe stalling you a little bit to have it happen a little bit. Like looks like you're going to probably make the call again within about a week and a half.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
what it feels like. Is that's when you're gonna have the impetus. All of a sudden, you'll know you're supposed to do it and do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
something along that lines. But I want to say it's more like you're flowing with the energies of the universe that are stalling, that are delaying this for when the energy where it intersects with other things that we don't know about, you don't know about, perhaps, not perhaps, it's things you don't know about, and that's when it'll be of more ideal value for the whole, for the better good for everything, for everyone.
Okay. Okay.
Call one of those things. And I
That's
don't remember
very,
seeing this very often with you, so that's kind of interesting that happened. Um,
hmm,
where that kind of thing happened in that way. It just maybe it has, but I just don't recall the last time where the mechanisms of the universe kind of work through you in this way to have this happen. It kind of, it's not a big deal. It's just I'm kind of noting it. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder, um,
hmm.
you know. But anyway, your next question.
You mean working through me to make the call
Yes,
or working through me to wait?
to wait
To,
in this way.
oh,
And
to
it's
wait.
such a soft, gentle thing. You wouldn't even know. It's like being on a boat and you're drifting with the current. You don't even know the current's moving,
Hmm.
kind of a thing.
Okay.
It reminds me of that. But yet that's what it's waiting for. And I can see you're getting close to the point where it looks like that's the bright point where your call will be most of benefit. If you're going to be guided to call, that'll be when it'll happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Great. Thank you.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. This is a real quick one. Well, maybe. I think it's quick. Um, I talked to my boss and he hasn't responded yet, but I gave him the numbers. He's a numbers guy. And,
Yeah.
he gets that I don't have as many people in the summer and that if I want to consolidate my schedule and have more time off, that's okay. But I do need him to confirm that I won't take on anybody new if anybody calls, that I'll be able to say, come back at the end of August, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty close to having my ideal, having it worked out. Like the last week or so, every time I look at how I'm trying to fit people into the number of spots I want to have, like I just want to work 3 days.
Hmm.
So um, I have so many spots on those 3 days that I can put people into. And the last few times I've looked at it, I've just kind of gone into gridlock because it's overload. And then one by one, people are like, oh, but I don't want to come every week. I want to come every other week. Oh, I just want to see you once a month or whatever. So
Hmm.
it's clearing. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. Um, and so anyway, my work thing has, I'm just so I'm so pleased and so grateful that I'm going to be able to uh, cut my work back. Like it was, I wanted to cut back to 3 days, and with all the people, it was looking like 3.5 days. So that really means 4 days,
Yeah.
which it's like that wasn't as much as I wanted, but I think I'm almost there. In fact, I had a conversation today that I need to follow up on, and if that happens, then I'm going to be it's going to be entire it's going to be there, it's going to be there. And related to that, I wanted to share. I don't know if I can share it without crying. Um, and they're not tears of sadness. They're kind of tears of humility. But I had, I shouldn't say, but what I wanted to talk about was that um, I don't have a I didn't have a bed yet for my niece. And so I was putting out to the universe that I wanted to manifest a bed that would be just perfect for her and perfect for the space. It would fit in there. And so I felt pretty confident, like, okay, I got this. I got this. I've been clear about it. There was an auction coming up last weekend. I was like, oh, that's it. It's going to be at the auction. I'm going to get it right. That's it. I've got it all figured out, right? So I go to the auction, and I was up early enough to get there early. But I delayed and delayed and delayed. And by the time I got there, um, the furniture had been sold. And I did go look on Friday, the day before, to see if there's anything I wanted. Well, there's only this one big king bed that I wasn't interested in. When I got there, I saw this beautiful oak double bed. It had a beautiful headboard, beautiful posts, beautiful foot what do you call the footbed, the thing at the bottom,
Hmm.
footboard. And I was just like, oh, I was so sad. I was like, oh, I missed it. This was the bed that I was meant to get, and I didn't get it. So I was so sad, and I felt, anyway, I went and I sat down for a minute, and somebody was eating a hot dog, and hot dogs aren't usually on my diet because, they're just not that healthy. But this person was eating a hot dog, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll just go get a hot dog. So I walked over to where they were serving hot dogs, and I asked the man there, I said, do you know how much that bed went for? How much it was, what the sale price was. And he said, I don't know, but my brother bought it. And he's sitting at the end of that row there next to the door if you want to go talk to him. So I went and talked to him, and I said, hey, he's there, they're Amish, and he's with his wife, and I want to be polite and respectful. And I said, I wanted to ask you about that bed. I just wondered how much it went for. And he said $35. And I was like, what? That's crazy, right? And so then I said, would you be willing to sell it? And he said, oh, sure. I don't need it. I just bought it because it was, it was there.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh my goodness. So I ended up buying the bed from him for $50. And I offered him more, but he wouldn't take more. He said, I can't take any more than that. I just got it for $35. So anyway, and then I called somebody that has helped me in the past, and they were able to come right then to help me load it up. And I just felt so great, so full of I felt so blessed and so full of awe at the power of the universe and the power of our thoughts, I guess, our thoughts
Hmm.
and our prayers to help orchestrate things.
Wow. That is wonderful. So it's all coming together.
Yeah, it's coming together. And actually, when when I said, he said I got it for $35, and I said, "Oh, would you be willing to sell it?" And he said, "Yes." I burst into tears. So this guy's kind of like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on here?" It's just a bed, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my one. Uh, I don't know what I would call that, but my beautiful story of working with spirit, I guess.
Wow.
Satisfying story of working with spirit. Um,
I have one thing for you before you continue.
okay.
On the bedroom, which when you were talking about it, I haven't really looked, when people talk about stuff, and I'm sure we all do this, or many, we all of us do it from time to time. All of a sudden, they were showing me the room, and I was kind of surprised to see there's some energies in there that need to get cleared out.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, there's a few. I mean, yeah, Lisa can probably
I
talk.
was gonna say the same thing,
Okay,
but
I did. I saw. It's like, boy,
Franny kept
I'm
talking,
so.
so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait till she gets done with the
Yeah,
story. Then I'm gonna
yeah,
tell her because
yeah.
right away I was like, you need to clear and smudge that room
Yes,
before.
absolutely. There's some
Sorry,
stuff.
Jeff.
Wow.
You know,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. And just ask that anything that's not of the light leave, or anything that's not of the highest vibration,
yeah, and
that
some of
it
it's in
not
the
be
corners.
transformed.
It's in
What's
the,
that?
you have some energies, especially with tied to your brother and some other stuff in there from who knows when, and it kind of wants to stay a little bit of it. Doesn't it's not like it's going to want to, you can't you have to yank it out, but it's you're going to have to make, it'll be have to you do your due diligence to have it cleared out. So you go, yeah. So go ahead, Lisa. Uh, you,
So you know how to smudge a room, right, Franny?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I sit in there and I pray with my smudge bowl. So I have a smudge bowl in there, but I don't walk around the room with the intention of clearing out any stuck or old
yeah,
energy. I sit in my chair, I look out the window, I have family members' pictures, and I sit and I light the sage, and I sit and pray.
yeah,
Yeah, so you need to go in through all the corners. You need to go through that closet, and
yes,
you need to get rid of some of your brother's stuff in there that
yes,
isn't necessary. Um,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Really, I know you want to have a memory of him in there, but don't have too much, if that makes sense.
Okay.
yeah,
Because your niece is gonna come in and stay there, so you want it to be her space for the time she's there, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. And there are a few things, especially in the closet, that are, um, things that just didn't go to thrift or wherever. There might be a belt, there might be a raincoat or something like that. There's not much, but there's a little bit. In fact, I found socks the other day. I was like, what are these doing here? Why didn't those go out? So those are in the thrift bag. They haven't left the room yet, but they're in the thrift bag, so they'll go. And then so I'll get everything out of there, and then I'll do a good smudge.
good.
That'll be great. Yep.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I wouldn't have even, yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
it was kind of a surprise. I mean, when you so we're talking about the room, and I'm sure Lisa would. So wow, what's that stuff doing there? I was, kind of surprised, but things like that happen. They hang around. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah,
And that would explain why I've had a hard time cleaning it out too. Like I go in and it just seems to take forever to do anything, and I have that heaviness, that sluggishness, and so anyway, maybe I'll start smudging and then
Yes.
keep cleaning and then smudge some more
sure.
That's what
after
I
I get everything.
recommend is to just smudge some of that energy out first. Uh,
Okay.
you can get the energy moving because otherwise you get in there in that stuck, stagnant energy, and then it's really hard to clean stuff out. And there's emotion tied to all of that too.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
then you get caught up in that, and then so smudge first, clear out stuff, and then smudge again.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. Whew. All right. Well, another thing I wanted to ask about is my friend that was in the accident, and He's recuperating now. Like he had a number of complications, but he's doing a lot better. And the celebration of life is coming up in a couple of weeks. And I know that's going to be emotional for me. His two adult sons will be there. One of the sons has a wife and two kids. I know that's going to be a wonderful reconnection for him. My question is just, are there any specific ways that I can support him that I might not think about? He's very private and would like to say, I'm fine, I don't need anything. Um, and the adult kids will be there, but I just wonder if there's something I can do for him.
I think the answer is yes. And you'll have to wait till I think maybe just before you go. But when you're there for certain, and I think before you get there too, just before, like a day before, I don't know, maybe a few hours before, I'm not sure how soon, you'll have a sense of what it is. And if you have that inkling, you know, um, it's one of those things you can offer it, but you already know, given his nature, you're going to have to do it very carefully so that he'll be open to accept it. It could be a small thing that'll seem small maybe to you, but it'll be big to him. And
Okay.
yeah, but I think you'll have to wait closer to the moment, to the time, to know, and just follow as so often with you, just follow your intuition. You'll have a sense of it, and then walk that tightrope kind of carefully as you always do with him, so that he um, can feel receptive to do that without his um, predilections getting involved. Let's call it that. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And then my last thing is that I have a friend who underwent open heart surgery today, and he's been healthy his whole life, so it was quite a shock to hear that he had a valve that wasn't functioning well, and they were pretty quick about saying, you need to get this scheduled because you're one of those people that it could happen like that. They were just like, you don't have a lot of time, you need to come in, get in right away. So
Mhm.
anyway, he went under the knife today, and I'm really close with his wife, and I'm pretty close with him, but he's kind of private.
Mhm.
um, like I asked him if I could pray and if my therapeutic touch group could send him energy, and he was like, oh, no thanks. No thanks, don't want any of the juju, I'll be fine. So can you offer some guidance on um, how he can receive love and support?
Yeah, June just she used to say when people, if they're not ready for it, you can send it to their high self, who will then channel it when he's ready and
Okay.
open. If he's ready and open, let's just say maybe he just remains as he is. But if he does have moments when he's open, that those energies, those blessings can come upon him.
Okay.
Send it with that intent, and that's the way you can get stuff to people who are very closed off and not open to these type of things. Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, we in this group we all know that the physical is also spiritual,
Yeah, that's true.
um, or at least it's an opportunity for spiritual growth and sometimes spiritual awakening.
Mhm.
And he definitely was bumping up against kind of the reality that his own mortality, that he's not going to be here forever. So he wanted to do some things to get his wife set up just in case he
Yeah.
didn't make it through the surgery. And so I know that it really, and then he stepped away from his career job, um, partly because of everything going on with the government cutbacks and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a time of big change for him. And, I just want to offer the support, but recognize that it's like you said, he may not be, he may not, his conscious self or low self may not be wanting to talk about that. So I'll just send it to the high self.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
I got
great.
two comments
That's
for
great.
him. One, the valve is actually it's a defect that's been there for a while. It just became as I got older. you just got to this point, but it was a problem before that just wouldn't be noticed because it was still functioning well enough. But I was looking at it, and I could see that it's been this way for a long time. Not sure if it's a genetic thing or whatever, but in any case, it was one of those things that this time was coming. And I really feel like this is an opportunity, even though he may not see it at all this way, of change that he's not even aware that's it's going to let some of his old stuff go and some new light come in, even if he's not ready for it. This is part of his life path.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. And this is whether he knows it or not, and I don't think he does. Yeah, well, he has some inklings, but this is a great thing for him.
Hmm.
Bigger picture of in life. Um,
Wow.
so
The time of change and transition.
yeah, shifting. He's finally some of the groundwork. Let's use some building terms are being done to the to where we can leave this old thing behind structure and moving into the new groundwork of this new um, in the activities and ways of life for him now as he's forced to make changes. And it looks unfortunate on the outer level, but it's anything but that.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
Great. Thank you.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thanks, everybody.
Well, yes, and thank you everyone for everyone that's Pat and Lisa and Paula and everyone when you throw things out there, then that come to you and you share it with everyone. And I know you all know that what a blessing that is, and uh, it's so wonderful. And I know I benefit when you share something like, oh wow, I thought of that, So thank you. All right, well, I'm going to go around here pretty quick and see if I have any closing comments. And I do have one request here. For, Marci's listening in. She's on a train, I think heading to Edmonds. Anyway, I could have the destination wrong, but and she's just wondering if anybody has anything for her. And so I want to throw that out because she's in listening mode because it's noisy on the train and may not be able to, turn the thing on. You can't hear anything. So if anyone has anything for her, please do share. And the only thing I'm going to the only thing I have for her is you're still in this path. I'm going to call it this. I think it's a just wonderful life path of change and growth. And although it may look chaotic and sometimes I'll use the word haphazard, but it just kind of looks like it's kind of not necessarily going in any coherent way that you might think it would. This really does feel like this is a path that is put it flowing you through the processes in life that need to happen for the many next steps that are coming. So that's all I have at this point. Does anyone else have anything for Marci?
I do, Jeff.
Wonderful.
So I just, when you said that, and I know Marcy's coming home tomorrow because I'm picking her up. I just heard
Yay.
Marcy, remember, this is your respite. This is the moment you get to relax and breathe and not be thinking about everything about land and all the other things. You just get to come home and take a moment. And you deserve to have that moment.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything at all for Marci?
I had something similar to you, Jeff. I could kind of feel with Marcy that there's probably some impatience and wanting things to maybe come to fruition or manifest, but she's in a space where, Marcy, where you need to just allow things to unfold it's about having that faith and just allowing yourself like flowing with the river, and wherever it takes you, that's where you need to be, and to trust your intuition. And anytime you start to get into trying to figure it out, just step back, take some deep breaths, because that's the mind wanting to jump in and to plan stuff. And so I just get you're in this space to really, it's like this free forming, moving path. And you're just to kind of follow. and to be more, which I know you have been, and it's coming. The things are coming that you're wanting, but that's where you're at right now. So just trust that. And I love you very much, and hopefully I get to see you soon. Great,
Yeah.
Mark.
Thank you. Wow. Anyone else have anything?
I was getting a lot of energy in the third chakra and just a lot of unrest and not being able to, like, the feeling of wanting to control things and just not being able to
Mhm.
do that. And so it kind of tied into what you guys were saying about just letting things flow. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Jessica. And I know Marcy's going to watch this again later, so that's when she'll get probably most of it. I know a lot of times that she just doesn't get it. She says, at least my impression is that at the time, but watching it later, which I like to do that too, because then I can see all the things we missed. But thank you all. Is there anything else for Marcy before we go around in for closing? Wrapping it up. All right, I'm going to go around the screen my normal way, which is how it shows up on my screen. So, Pat, would you mind anything that you'd like to share? Any questions? Anything at all before we close?
No, just I don't know. This group is something else. We are just very, very powerful beings on this journey together. And a lot of times I don't feel this during the day or anything. I feel it like at the closing of our group meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful to be with all of you that are on the call and others sometimes that come on as well, of course, so that they know they're cared for just like we all are. And I just want to thank you all and um, flow along, everybody.
Oh, thank you. All right. With that, Lisa, you're up next. Any other thoughts, questions, anything at all?
Well, I'm going to try to say this as quickly as I can because I totally forgot about this, and because all of you guys have been holding space for me. Last weekend, I had my talk with my ex-business
Oh,
partner now, and I had set the energy to talk to her and set that up. And then when we were supposed to talk, it didn't feel right. And then she was kind of having a bad day. So we just kind of said, okay, well, let's get together the next day. So we get together the next day and we get all the stuff, the financial stuff figured out, which needed to be done. And then I said, I have some bad news, but I cannot continue doing this partnership. And she went, oh my gosh. She's like, I am so relieved because I was going to tell you that I can't continue and commit to the partnership.
yay.
It was remarkable. I was like, oh my gosh, it was crazy because my intention was is that she would realize that all on her own. And that night she had a conversation with one of her oldest daughter, and she really molded over, and that's when she came to that conclusion. So this kind of relates to Franny. It's like it felt like it wasn't right to talk. I waited, and then this unfoldment happened. So, anyways, I want to say thank you, everyone. I have a huge weight off my shoulders, and I'm so excited to move forward now. So, thank you.
Oh, we're excited. Thank you for sharing that. We're so excited for you. This is awesome. Boy, oh, thank you, thank everyone in the divine and the higher guidance, the hand of the divine in here on this. So thank you. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Wow. Good news. All right. Moving on. Franny, you're next on my screen here. Any last thoughts, questions, anything at all?
I'm so glad you shared that, Lisa. That's really exciting. It's really great news. And I just want to say how much I enjoyed doing this soap making class with you, just spending time with you live and in person instead of on the screen. So, big shout out for that. Just want to express gratitude that we're able to come together in this way. I really feel like when we're all together, our energies combine and the veil is thinner. And
Mhm. Yeah.
It's good for all of us and good for the good for the soul group. Um, and Jeff, thank you so much for creating this and doing it.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure, my privilege, actually, because I benefit so much from it. It's hard to, you know, it's like, sure, it's one of those things like, we host it, but I look forward to just being with everyone every month. So this is wonderful. So thank you. Paula, any last thoughts, questions, anything?
I agree, Lisa. That's the best news. But we knew it would come out that way because you'd set your intention, and we all believed it.
Yeah.
Other thing is, I think when Pat was talking, Brooks popped in because he was in total agreement about the joy of this group and the soul family that we are, and so he brought his energy in for a moment. Um, that's all for me. Just thank you, everyone. I love this group and being here once a month with everyone.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and I knew if anyone could pull it off, Lisa was going to be the one. You have a way of being able to convey things that the people are just open to it. And I think it's wonderful, and obviously you know, it all flowed well. So
Well, and also with that thought, Jeff, when your heart and your intention is pure,
mm,
only good can come from it.
I think that's true. I think that is absolutely true. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. All right, Jessica, do you have anything at all?
Yeah,
Last.
this is such a beautiful, beautiful call, and it's so nice to connect to all you people. And I did have one last little question about
Hmm?
um my cat keeps yelling at me. And I didn't know if other people are having this with their animals or if it's just mine. I don't know. Um, and I'm not sure why he's yelling, but
I'm going to tell you something that'll sound odd. May,
okay.
may sound odd. He's recognizing something in you, and he's, you know, making you aware of it. It's like shouting it out. Um, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's not a bad thing. It's a it's just yeah, just he's I think you can, if you tune in or ask, or if someone else has it, please share. But I'm not quite getting it. But he's recognizing a change in you, and he's like shouting it out. Wow, you're changing. This is happening. And there's probably more to it, but I don't know what it is. Unless someone else has it right now. All right.
I don't know, he kind of sounds like he's dying when he's like, oh
Yeah. No.
my God, what's going on?
Yeah. No. He's recognizing a change, and there might be some elements of it that you're like, oh, I need to do something here. But I think generally it's talking about a change, shifting the energetic shifts in you, changes in you.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure what it is.
Okay.
All right.
He said it'll eventually come.
It will.
But yeah. Well, thank you so much. I always enjoy this call and all the people on it. And maybe sometime I can meet all of you in person.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. We'd love it.
Yeah.
Come up to, we'll all get together. We'll have to, we'll just put our intentions out there, and we'll see what comes to fruition. So.
There you go.
So with that, I'll thank you all for being here. Sorry about the voice, but blessings, light, and love. And until next month, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.